What's up, guys? It's Lefty here, and we are talking NFL Super Wildcard weekend. I'm breaking down all the different angles, discussing some game theory and market analysis for all six matchups. Every game in this wildcard round is a rematch from the regular season. Some of these games will actually be the third meeting between these teams this season. So there's some solid reference points, a lot of relatable data we can look back on. But the sports books also have this same data, which makes the betting lines extremely efficient, or in other words, extremely accurate. And a way we can take advantage of this is by using teasers. I have a lesson on teaser strategy rules, and I go over how and when you want to use teasers for an optimal approach. One of those rules is to bet closer to kickoff because that's when the lines are the most efficient. And that's what we want when betting teasers, because we're basically taking that accurate line and changing it 6 points and hoping the final score lands close to that original spread. That way a teaser will win regardless of which side you selected to tease. You don't want to tease every game, of course, only the games where the numbers present itself. And I go over this in the teaser strategy video. I'll link that in the top right-hand corner now. The Bengals-Ravens game fit the optimal teaser strategy this week. And I actually have two teasers with the Bengals as official betting network best bets. I bet them earlier in the week, but the number on Cincy right now isn't as strong for a teaser because it did move quite a bit. Current line is at 9.5, so teasing Cincy wouldn't get you across that key number of 3 now, which is ideally what you want when teasing. This line opened Cincy -6 or 6.5 because of the status of Lamar Jackson was still uncertain. But as the week went on, it became clear that Lamar Jackson wouldn't be ready to play, and the line now has crept up, and some books are showing 10. Even if by some miracle for Baltimore, Lamar Jackson was made active, not sure how effective he'd be. He hasn't even practiced since December 4th. And the strength of his game is his mobility. So with that knee injury, he'd definitely be limited. These two teams just played last week, and the line closed Cincy -11. I don't think the line will get that high for this game because Baltimore did sit key players last week, including J.K. Dobbins, running back there, and then tight end Mark Andrews, along with some other starters on defense. Baltimore last week strangely went very pass-heavy. It's not their style of play. I think they did that to kind of, not show Cincy any part of their game plan this week. Baltimore actually outgained the Bengals by 130 yards. Cincy with only 55 rushing yards last week and only scored a field goal in the second half. But I'm not so sure we can use that game as a way to predict this playoff game. Based on game theory, I do think Baltimore has a slight advantage here because they'll be playing with an entirely different look than last game. But Baltimore's pathway to victory is, run the ball and play defense. And they definitely sat J.K. Dobbins last week knowing he'll be a workhorse this week. The first meeting between these two teams back in October, Baltimore did win 19-17, but that was with Lamar Jackson. I really don't see how Baltimore can win this game, but I do think they can be competitive and keep it within single digits. The Bengals have some issues on the offensive line, and the Ravens, even with backups last week, were able to get some pressure. In the playoffs, if you establish the run and can stop the run, you're a favorite to win most games. In fact, in the playoffs, teams that have more rushing yards also win 70% of the time. But of course, teams in the lead, run the ball more. But, the Ravens, if they're able to run the ball effectively and control the pace of game, pace of play, their defense is definitely solid enough. They have the third best red zone defense in the league. So I give them a shot at keeping this close, but luckily, I don't have to make that decision because I already locked in the Bengals teasers and have them at a pick, just needing them to win outright, which I feel good about considering Cincy is 21-4 against the spread in their last 25 games, which is crazy. I think they'll be playing with a chip on their shoulder too, not being able to play for that number 1 seed. But yeah, Cincy outright for me. Think Baltimore will keep it close and maybe a low-scoring game. But that's going to do it for me. Good luck with all your bets, and until next time, may all the refs' calls and all the loose balls go your way.